right. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining this afternoon. You're welcome. You are welcome. I can see you. I can see you. I'm saying Finfolu Zion. Finfolu Zion. Since all this while, welcome back from camp. Thomas here again. You will never be a terrorist. Amen. All right. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone, today. And oh my God, today that we are now coming in like this, I don't know. Our quiz, I've not been able to. Network is is preventing us from setting the question. But okay, I'll try and see what we can still do. I have like just 4 or 5 questions that I was able to set, but we will see what we can do before the end of the class. Perhaps we'll still be able to put in some few questions. And if we can't, that means we will. I don't know. I'll still let us know. So please, if you can hear me, kindly drop a message for me in the chat that you can hear my voice very loud and clear. And if you need, maybe I should increase my volume. Let me see. Have I increased the volume to the maximum? Yes, my volume is already at the maximum. So you should be hearing me right now. You should be hearing me right now. And if you can't, that means there's an issue somewhere. All right. My name is Damilari. I'm a full stack software developer and I'm your favorite host on this training program. We started about 8-9 days ago, last week, Monday precisely, and it's going to be running concurrently for 4 weeks, Monday to Friday every day, 4 to 6 p.m., except when there is network issue or there is electricity issue, which for a number of days now, we have not had any issue like that. Okay, we thank God for how He has helped us, and today we are going to continue again on our learning journey. Okay, we are going to be continuing on our learning journey. Thank you so much, Thomas, for being able to hear me. Thank you for mentioning that. Okay, I will switch my screen now to our normal VS Code and browser so that we can be able to see what I do on the screen and then for you to practice. You guys, I hope you are practicing because I'm not receiving any submission from you guys. I'm not receiving submission. I hope you are practicing. All right. Now, I'll be starting. What we'll be looking at today, if I'm not even sure that you guys have digested the form, that you have digested it completely, so that I can bring in a fresh something that can fill up your brain. I don't want people to come and say their head is filled up, that their head is filled up, it's already filled up just because we are doing okay. Okay. So I'm not sure that I'm not seeing Esther. I'm not seeing Esther. Esther, I'm not seeing you. Yeah, maybe you should exit and maybe come in again. It's not obvious at all that you are in. It's not obvious at all. Please sign in. Maybe you should enter and maybe you should exit and come in again. All right. We will, like I said, I'm supposed to be teaching us table, but I'm not sure we have digested the form that we did last week. Was it last week? Yes, last week. I'm not sure we've digested the form that we did on Friday, and if we have not digested that form, to be bringing in another thing like table may cause issues in our head. So I don't want that to happen. So I'll be waiting for our submission for me to see that we have actually. You can't see me. Okay. It's not me. He's talking about Esther. Yes, so Esther, we can't see you. So there are a lot of things to be learned. I'm just trying to make sure that you have gotten a concept before I introduce another one. But be that as it may, today I have other things that I will be teaching us. Spending the time that you guys will let me know that you have digested your form very well and you are ready for another thing like that. Today we'll be looking at some concepts. The first of which is style sheets. Style sheet. So before now, you're already aware of style sheet. You know that style sheet is this one that we write here, style.css, and it is the one that we use to store our CSS files, our CSS code, the code that we use to beautify our web page, or that we use to arrange our web page. So we store it inside style.css file. But that is not the only way to write style CSS file. There are three actual ways actually to present your CSS files. So I have just used only one of them for you by using this style.css. So today we will look at the remaining two and their names. Well, you can decide anyone you want to use at any point in time, but generally speaking, they work hand in hand together. They work hand in hand together. They work hand in hand. It's good for you to know how to use the remaining two. Excuse me. So the first one that I'll be talking about is what we call internal style sheet. Internal style sheet. So let me come here and say something like this. Internal style sheet. Internal style sheet. Okay. Internal style sheet. What do we mean by internal style sheet? You know, we already have a style sheet here that we have here that we are using. But this one is one of the three, and the name of this one is external style sheet. Why is it external? It is external because it is outside of the HTML tag that we are using. This is the HTML tag that we are writing, and then the style sheet is outside of this index.html. It is outside of it. It's not inside here. So we call it external. And because it is external, we have to link it, which is why we normally use our link in the head tag here to link our style sheet, because it is external. So this is external style sheet. External style sheet. And this is how we link it. That you have been doing it, you have been seeing it, you have been using it since last week. That is external. You are very, very familiar with that one. The two that I'm going to talk about today is what is new, that I will take my time to explain very well to you so that you can understand. Now, let's go to the second one, which is that internal style sheet that I talked about. If that one is external because it is not inside our index.html file or inside any HTML file whatsoever, when we now talk about internal style sheet, it means it must be inside our HTML file. For example, I have index.html here. So if I want to create an internal style sheet, then it must be somewhere inside this file also, not outside. And because it is inside, I will not need that link. I will not need to link it right here. Where is it? Here. Yes. I will not need to link it right here because it is already inside the HTML file. Okay. Now, if I must put it here, where am I going to put it? Is it at the beginning of the document or at the end of the document? Where am I going to put it? We are going to do some experiment now to see where we are going to put it that is going to work. So let me go to under the form. I'm going to be putting some things under this form, and then we are going to use this internal style sheet to style it for us to see how it works. So let me look for the form. I'm looking for the form now so that I can be able to style it. I can drop some things on the I already told you what I'm doing now. I'm just squeezing the divs, squeezing them so that I can be able to scroll very, very easily. Once I do the squeezing, I'll be able to scroll very, very easily. The form. Okay, this is the form. All right. Under the form, I'll be doing internal style sheet examples here. So let me drop end of internal style sheet. Okay, now let me drop some elements on the page right here. I want to drop some elements on the page. So let me start with a button. Let me start with a button type of submit. A button type of submit. Let me put submit inside. Submit in the button. I'm going to save it, and I'm expecting it to show up somewhere underneath here. Okay, that is it there. I want it to have, okay, I'll be using style for that, don't worry. After the button, I also want, let's say I want H3 text. H3, and the text inside this one will be, let's say, this is a test to know where internal style sheet would be or should be. Yeah, should be. Okay, so that is H3. When I save it now, it should show up underneath the button right there like that. So those two elements are enough. Now, normally I will go to my style.css like this and try and put some styles here that will affect those things, that will affect the h3 and that will affect the button. And if I want to pick this particular button, I can add either an ID or a class. The same thing with this h3. If I want to pick this particular one alone and not every h3 on the page, I can attach a class or an ID to it, and then I will be able to affect it inside my style.css. But that is just external. I want to use an internal style sheet now. How will I do it? So let's try and put it let's put it before the body. You know, we have HTML, we have head, and we have the body. I told you that we have only three segments. Just the HTML, the head section, and then the body. So let's put it at the let's put it in between the head and the body. Let's put it in between the head and the body. By the way, to declare an internal style sheet, you use the tag called style. Just do style like this. Style, opening tag, and then the ending tag is also /style. Just like everything we have been doing. When we are closing it, it is /style. So you open it up. So let's say I want to do let me give this thing a class, please. Let me give it a class. Let me give it a class. Let me give it a class under the form. Yes, this one. Let me give it a class here. I will say class for this one is test h3, test-h3, test-h3. This one is class is test-button, test-button. Okay, don't mind the way I call my button. I'm just trying to make fun of myself. Okay, so let me pick test/button and see whether I'll be able to affect it inside here. You remember, I'm putting it between the closing head and between the opening of body. This is where body starts from, and I'm putting the style here. So let me just write some styles for test button. Test button, but it is a class, so I must put dot there because it is a class. So test button, and then I'll open my curly brace exactly the same way we write there. Let's say I want padding. I want padding of 10 pixels. Padding of 10 pixels, and I want color. I want color to be white. And then I want font. Let me put width. I want the width of the button to be 50 pixels. Okay, let me leave it like that. I'm going to save it now. I've saved it, and it's like something is happening on the screen, right? Something is happening on the screen. Interesting. Okay, white, and let me increase this one from 50 to, let's say, 100 pixel, and then it's happening. It's showing up on the screen, right? Because I placed it here, it's showing up on the screen. Okay, let's remove it from here. And then place it inside the body now. Inside the body, inside the body, on top, before anything at all. Everything you put inside the body will be showing up in your browser. So now, before you begin to write anything at all, let's place our internal style sheet there and see what happens. First, I'm going to take it away by saving this thing like this, so that this button will go back to how it was originally. Then I'm going to paste it out after the body, immediately after the body, to see whether it will still be affected right here or not. Okay, it is still affected. Okay, what if we take it away from here and then we place it towards the end of the body? Towards the end of the body, which is after the footer now. After the footer, let's place it here. After the footer, let's place it there before the close of the body. Save it, and then let's see what happens. Okay, you will not know the difference. Let me cut out like this. Save it, so that the button will go back to how it was, and then I want to position it right here. Save it, and let's see whether it will be affected or not. Okay, it is also working right there. What if I put it after the body? Right now it has been inside the body. It has been inside the body for the last two movements. So let's put it outside of the body. I mean, between body and HTML. and see whether it will still be effective or not. So I'm going to save that one now so that the button will go back to how it was, and then I'm going to paste it here. Now I will save it now for us to see whether it will be affected or not. It is still affected. What has that told you? What that tells us is that anywhere you place it in this document, your browser will be able to read it as long as it is having style and closing of style. It will be able to read it, and then it will find the classes and the IDs that you are using there, and then affect them in whatever way you have already mentioned inside your definition. Okay, that is style tag, and this one I have done here is called internal style sheet. So normally we don't put it there, we put it at the base of body here. I can put it at the base of body like this, so that it will just be like that. But it will, by the time you see that it will become too cumbersome. Your HTML file will become so large that you may not be able to control them, to control it, which is why we normally use that external style sheet that you have been familiar with since the beginning of this training. So that is an internal style sheet. Let me see if I can add one more style for this H3. For the H3 class, which class did I give you? I said text H3. Okay. To select text H3, I will come to the end of this guy and say I want to pick another class now. Text H3. Something is wrong here, right? What is wrong? I'm picking a class because the class is H3, and then when I'm picking a class, I must put a dot. Thank you so much. Thank you. So I must put a dot to be able to pick a particular class. Then I will open my curly brace and say, make this guy font size, make the font size larger. Save it, and let's see what happens. Whether it will actually be larger. It's not larger. Let me see. Let me use arbitrary figures. Let me use 55 pixels. Font size 55 pixels, and it's not showing on the screen. Why is it not showing? Let me see. Text H3. Text -8. Okay, I use text here, not test. I use text. Can you see now? So when you're having such issues, you should be able to know where you can look at to find out what problem is actually what problem is happening, how you can solve it. Actually, a good software developer is someone who can actually look at a problem and think of why the problem is there and what can be done to solve the problem. We solve problems. Essentially, that is what we do. So if you are very good at problem solving, then this field is for you. Don't waste your talent trying to look for any other thing. Please come into this field, and then you are going to make a lot of waves. You are going to produce a lot of things. So we solve problem. Like now, I have already put it the way I normally put it, and then it's not working. The next thing for you to do is to go and check where I picked it from. Is it possible that I made a mistake? Because anybody can make a mistake. Anybody, even me and even you. So it is text H3. So just copy that one and then come here and then paste it there like that. So save it, and then it comes out like that. So that is internal style sheet. I believe that one is clear. There is no question on that one. If anyone has any question about this one, kindly drop it in the chat. I'm going to check it again in the next 5 or 6 minutes or so to see what questions we have based on that one. But I think it's clear enough. I think it's clear. If I don't see any question, I will not be surprised at all, because I think I explained it very well, and you are already used to CSS before now. Now let's move on to the next one, which is this one is internal style sheet. The next one is what we call inline style sheet. This is internal style sheet example. I'm going to say the next one. The next one is inline style sheet. Okay, inline style sheet. What is this again? Damn it, what is this again? Well, all these things are important. At some point, you will be so stuck. You will get yourself so stuck, and it is this kind of things that will get you out. You are designing a web page and you have used CSS, or maybe there is no CSS file for it, and then you want to achieve something, and the only thing you can use there is this inline style. So you will learn it today, and then it will be useful for you after today. Let's go. How do we use inline style sheet? Inline style sheet simply means, instead of, though this one is internal, where is it? This one is internal, but we are combining all the styles together inside a style tag here, as if we are having our CSS file underneath our HTML file here. That is internal. But inline means, as we are writing our tag, we are putting this style there straight. As we are writing our tag, when I write my H3, I put my CSS inside that H3. When I write my button, I put my CSS inside that button. How do we achieve that? Okay, this is how we achieve it. Let's come to inline style sheet. I'm going to be creating button. This button I'll be creating is a reset button. Type equal to reset, and I'm going to say clear the form. Though there is no form, but I'm just doing a demo, a dummy something for us, please. Then I'm going to put a paragraph tag, and paragraph tag like this. I'm going to put lorem there. There is something called lorem ipsum in VS Code that you can have if you want to generate a text that you don't like, gibberish that you want to use it like a placeholder. You can generate it from VS Code. I think it's like this. Just type lorem. As you begin to type lorem, you press tab. It will give you that lorem like that. Yes, to give you that lorem. Let me do it again for those who were looking away while I was doing it. So please peel your eyes now so that you can see. Peel your eyes. Are you ready? I want to type lorem. You must have seen it before. Lorem ipsum. They use it in publishing. It has an history. You can go ahead and check the history on Google. There's a history for it. So lorem, once you begin to type lorem, is going to give you this. Once you see this immense abbreviation, it means it understands what you want to say. So just press tab. I think there is a way to even mention the number of letters or characters that you want. I have not used it recently, so I'm not sure I can get that one. Let me see if I can get it. Lorem, I think .500 or something like that. Let me see if .500 will work. Yes, I think it works. Yes. Let me see. That is 500. 500 stopped at this point. So let me do 510 so that we can see if it will stop at this point. Okay, let me do another one down below here. P. Inside the P, I want to do lorem dot 510. So it's going to, I'm expecting it to give me 500 characters. Lorem 510. Yes, 510. 500 stop at aspanator. It's giving me something different. Don't worry yourself about that. Anyway, type lorem and press tab. Is going to give you the default measurement of lorem, and then you have it there. So I'm going to be using inline styles. Inline styles for these two guys now, and then for us to see it on the screen. Let me save it so that we can see it on the screen immediately. So we have clear the form, which is a reset button, and then we have the first paragraph, and then we have the second paragraph also. Now, let me pick this guy, this first paragraph. I want to pick it. I don't want the text to be left aligned. This text now is left aligned. I want it to be justified. Okay, let me first of all use right alignment so that we see what right alignment means. I will come to the opening tag of the paragraph, which is that P that you are seeing there. And then I will open it up and type style like this. When I type the style, it's going to give me this option. Just click on it so that you can see so that it can give you an idea of how to set it up. So what is the first thing I want to do? I want to change the text that I want to change. I want to do text align. That's the name of the property I want to choose. So I will say text. As I begin to type text, it's going to give me this option. I will select it, and then it will give me that colon by itself so that I can type the value that I want now. Let me choose. There are different options. We have center, we have end, we have justify, left, right, and so on. I'm going to be choosing right for now so that you can see how right works. Let's save it, and then you can see how justify right is working now. Justify right means the right side will be straight while the left side may not be straight. That's the meaning of justify. I mean text align right. You have already justified it. If you know how to use Microsoft Word very well, this is rightly justifying a text in Microsoft Word. Okay, let me use center, save it, and then it will change to something like this, in which case each line will be presented at the center of the previous one. At the center of the previous line, it will be presented that way. Okay, now this is a style, and you can see that it is working, even though I am not putting this style in CSS file, and I'm also not using the inline. I'm not using the internal style tag. I'm writing it inline, in between. I'm writing it in between inside the tag itself. That is where I'm putting it. Let me add another one. Style text align is that. To separate them, I must use this. We normally use this thing now. Normally use that semicolon at the end of every something that you write. So I want to add another one. Let me add color. Let's say I want the color to be I want the color that is visible, that we can see. So I want the color to be chocolate. I will save it, and then the color becomes chocolate on the screen without me having to go to the CSS file. Some people will like this one. They will prefer it as against going to CSS file. But mind you, it's going to make your HTML code to become so bulky, and it's going to make your HTML code not to be as neat as it would have been without the something. So they have their own pros and cons, but you decide what works for you. Of course, ultimately, it is your work. There is no drawback as to performance or anything. You put it here, you put it there, it's the same. At least for now, for your level now, it is still fine to put it anywhere that you want. Later on, for front-end development, actually, we have libraries that we use for CSS, and we have libraries that we use for a lot of things that makes our work easier in front-end development. So all these things you are learning, if you are able to learn all these things, I can tell you, I can guarantee you, your front-end development journey is so sweet. You will enjoy the movement, because a lot of things that you are doing now with hard work, there will be library to do them for you. You just put in little code, and then you're already on your way to go. Okay, that is the inline style that we talk about. Let me pick another one. Let me pick this one. To be able to write inline style for this one, you will go to the opening tag of the P, and then you will say style. As you begin to type it, it will open this one for you. You click on style, and then you say, what do you want now? Let me choose. Let me change the background color. Let me change it to brown. And then when you save it, it's going to look like that. So let's say I want the color. Let me change the font size also. Font size. Okay, it's not giving me font size. Why? Anybody? Can you see now? I want to type font size, but it's not giving me. Why is it not giving me? Because it does not believe that I am true with the style that I was writing. It does not believe that I am true with the one that I'm writing. It will only know that I am true with the one I'm writing if and only if I am able to put semicolon at the end of the first definition. If I do that one now, it will know that I want to write another one, and then if I type font, it's going to give me like that. Can you see the difference? Let's do it again. Let me change this one. Instead of semicolon, let me use comma like this, and then I want to type font size, which is this one, but it's not giving me. It's going to give an error in the console. It's going to give me an error in the console. It's not going to give me what I want to have here. So why is it not giving me? Because it is not sure that I'm through with this one that I'm writing. It's saying comma there instead of semicolon. Semicolon marks the end of CSS line. So for me to tell the browser that I am through with this first definition, I want it to stop at the place of brown. To be able to do that, I have to come here, remove the and put semicolon there. So when I do that, you will now see that if I remove this one now and I begin to type font, it's going to give me these options again. So font size, let font size be 20 pixels, and we should be able to see it on the screen almost immediately. Yes, we should be able to see it on the screen almost immediately like that. So 20 pixels. I think that one, as explained, inline style and internal style sheet, we already know external style sheet before today. Okay, if you have any question on those 3 types of tags, you can please drop them in the chat. I will answer to them before the end of the class today. Now, having done that, we are going to be moving to the next thing we are learning today, which is, although we are not going to be implementing this one, I just want to share it with you so that if you see it in another person's work, or if you are saying you attended a full month training on HTML and CSS, they will not show you a code and then you will tell them you don't know what it means. So though we are not going to be implementing it, but at least it's good for you to know what it means. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the tag called it's called the script tag. Like this, script tag. What do we use the script tag for? We use the script tag for handling JavaScript functions. We use the script tag for handling JavaScript functions like this, for handling JavaScript functions. Okay, so we write JavaScript in between these 2 tags. Just like style sheet, it is possible for us to have another file outside, maybe somewhere here, that we will have our style sheet and put it there, our JavaScript, put it here, and then we now link it inside the HTML, just like we do for CSS. But it is also possible to write our JavaScript inside our HTML. We only have to make sure that our JavaScript is wrapped inside these script tags. Anything you put inside this script tag will be interpreted as JavaScript. So if you put correct code there, then you can use it to manipulate your web page to do some things for you, like maybe do some calculation. If you are using an e-commerce website now, requires you to calculate. If a customer picks an item that is 20 naira per piece, and the person has selected to buy 5, you should be able to know what the amount will be. That will be 20 times 5. The way to do that is through JavaScript, and you can put the code in between these 2 tags, and you can still keep the tag underneath your file, underneath the footer, just before the close of the body, like this. So that is the script tag for you, and I'm just trying to let you be familiar with it. Not that I'm going to be teaching you JavaScript, no. It's beyond the scope of this training, but that is the script tag there that they use for handling JavaScript. So when they ask you what is the script tag used for, just tell them it is used to handle JavaScript portion of your website, JavaScript portion. All right. After that, I think the last thing I want to show us today before I now move to the project is what I call font. Yes, you heard me correctly. Font. You have been saying font here, font. Let me come here now. This is font size here. This is font size. I can also change font family. Font family for this second one. Let me change font family for that one. Font. And the moment I begin to type font, it's going to give me this option. I will choose family. I will choose family for that one. And when I choose family for that one, please let me confirm that this thing is still showing. Okay, it's still showing. It's loading. Why? Okay. When I choose font family for that one, I can select one of the font family that font family simply means a group of fonts that have been grouped together to be used by a to be used at a particular time. All these things you are seeing now, this one, all this one belong to a family. The next set belong to a family. The next one is a family. So why do we have three there instead of just one? Couldn't one have been okay? Well, they put family there because it is possible that the person that is opening your website is opening it on a system and some fonts are not available there. Oh, so you have used Segue UI alone, Segue UI alone, and the person opening your web application does not have this on his system. So it will be difficult for the person to see it exactly the way you designed it. So they now put backup font there. So if Segue UI is not available, Taoma must be available. If Taoma is not available, Geneva must be available. If Geneva is not available, Verdana must be available, and so on and so forth. So there is always a backup font that will be picked anytime anytime the first one is not available. It can always revert to the second one. All right. Now, when we now say font in our project here now, for example, we only have some fonts that are, I think they are with my system. I'm not the one who installed all this one. But when you begin to do web development projects, you will realize that all these fonts here that you are seeing here, they are not fine. Is that funny? All of them like this, they are not fine. They are just plenty like that. So for every project that you want, until you have a particular font that you like to use, you may have to go to a place and look for a particular font there that you can use. Look for a particular font there that you can use. So I'm going to be taking us through the process of finding a font and bringing it into your project, even if you don't have it before on your system. Like now, I'm going to be using a font that I don't even have on this system at all. I'm going to be introducing us to it now. So if you are ready, I'm ready to, and I'm going to be taking you to the place where we are going to be talking about fonts for our project. All right, this is where we'll be talking about font for our project. Of course, the journey starts with you going to Google. You go to google.com. All of you know google.com. Okay, we have, please refresh on the external style sheet if I don't mind. Okay, external style sheet is the one that we have been doing, that we have been using before, long before now, from the beginning. I have introduced you to external style sheet, and then we normally link it up using our link, red equal to style sheet. You remember? We normally link it up using that one. That is external style sheet. You are familiar with it. Don't let your mind tell you that it is so strange. All right. Okay. Who else asked a question? Esther said, can one manipulate HTML to picture a kind of JavaScript effect? The question is deep. Well, some few things can be done that will make it look like JavaScript. Very, very little and very, very few. And the effect will not be pronounced. For example, you can create a range. You can create a range like an indicator that will, but generally speaking, it is too much of a problem. Yes, the question makes sense. Can you use some HTML? Is it possible to have some features of JavaScript that HTML can help you to render? Yes, there are few, very little, and those little are not really useful like that. But anywhere you need JavaScript work, HTML will not be able to stand in there and give you exactly the same flexibility, the same features, and everything like that. So just don't worry yourself about that one for now. Just learn the HTML and CSS for now first. Then later you can be thinking about how to learn JavaScript or front-end development. Okay, now that is all the questions I have for now. Okay, yes, like you said, Thomas, yes. If I had JavaScript to this thing, if I had JavaScript to this training, but believe me, we will not finish. Number one. Number two, you will not learn it. Number three, you will run away. Simply, it's not because it is hard, but because you are not ready for it right now. You need to learn your HTML and CSS very well, be comfortable with it, because you'll be using those HTML and CSS also to manipulate your JavaScript. So you see now. Now let's go to what we're talking about here, which is font. How do we get font into our machine or into our project? We go to a place called Google Fonts. How do you get Google Fonts? Just come to your Google here. Okay, type www.google.com. Press enter. And then you have this one. So you type Google Fonts. Type Google Fonts. Google Fonts, press enter. And then it brings you to this place. If you know this address offhand, which is fonts.google.com, you could easily have typed it in your browser like that and say fonts.google.com. You could type it like that. It will take you to the same place that clicking on this button will take you to. So I'm going to be clicking on this one, and I will assume that you may not remember this URL by yourself. So I will click now. I have clicked, and Google has a lot of fonts that can be useful for our web project. It has a lot of fonts that can be useful for our web project. Let me try and okay, it's giving me, this is the default page. This is the default page that is giving me now. Okay, how many families here? 1713 of 1713 families. So 1713 family, that is font family that you have access to just by coming here, all for free. You are not paying anything to get them. How do we get them? Assuming you already have a name in your head. For example, there's a font called Poppins. So let's say you want to use Poppins. When you type Poppins inside this search bar here, it's going to bring up Poppins and what looks like it. This is Poppins here. This is Poppins here. And now you see that it's showing only one of 1713. So let's say I don't want to use Poppins. Let me see if they have Lato. There's one called Lato, and it's going to bring up Lato style for you. This is Lato font family size. To you now, they may look the same. They may look the same, but when you are building web projects, you will know that these things are not the same. In fact, there are some, there will be a time when a web project has been designed. There's something we call product designing. They first of all design the product before they give it to a web developer or a front-end developer to develop. So when they have designed it, the UI UX people have designed it and given it to you, you must use the font specified in that thing. So you must go out and look for it. If they say Lato, don't say Poppins look like Lato now. This is Lato. And why can't I just use Poppins? You must not do that. Whatever font they have put there is what you should use. So let me take in Poppins right now. I'm going to take Poppins and use it inside our project. Poppins. If I take Poppins that we have here is 18 style, but if I click on it, it's going to lead me to the major page of Poppins. So now I clicked on that one, and then it brought me to this place where we have the major page of Poppins. So what are the different sizes that I have? I have size 100. It will look like this. 100 italic will look like this. Then I have extra light 200, and so on. Different weights, different sizes that you are having there, depending on the weight that you want. So this is the last one here, 900. 700 is bold also, but that one is the maximum. How do you now select the ones that you want? So assuming I want everything to be available for my project, so I'll begin to click them. As I'm clicking, let me click. It's not responding to my clicking again. It's not responding again. Okay, it's not responding. Now there's something here by the right hand side here, this upper right corner, that looks like a cart, like where you are putting what you have purchased. Click on it, just click it to open it, and then you will have this one. When you click it to have it, I want to show you the sizes that we have selected so far, so that if you want to add more, you can always add more. See how to use. Click on see how to use. See how to use. See how to use will show you all these things, but I think it's plenty enough. It's still plenty, and you don't need that. Let me go back and show you. You see, we have get embed code here, and we have download all here. This get embed code is the one that we are going to be using, because we just need the code that we can put inside our HTML for us to be able to use this font. Now, by the time you check it now, the embed code is what I picked. I'm going to go over it again so that you can perfect it very well. Don't worry. If I'm using for web or Android or iOS or Flutter, there are different things I will do. But what concerns us now is this web part. Is the one that concerns us. Is where we are building. For those building for mobile application like React application, they can come here and follow this instruction. So I'm going back to web. There are two ways to bring it inside my project. I can use link tag. You are already familiar with link tag now. The one we used to link CSS with our HTML. You remember? Yes, you did. I remember that it has this format also. Link rel equal to this, something like that, and so on and so forth. So we can use link tag, in which case we just copy this thing like this, or we click on this copy code. We can click on this copy code that we are seeing here. This copy code here, then we can it will be copied to our clipboard. Once we copy it, we can now take it to wherever it is that we want to paste it and paste it there. Okay, let me look for a font that will show significantly on our page. Let me go back and look for a font that will show significantly on our page. Let me say remove all now. Everything is gone. Browse font. Now I've clicked on browse font. I want to look for a font that will change everything that we have on the page. A font that is a bit different. Okay, let me choose this one. This one now is a font. Can you see? It's a font. Bongi Bongi tint. And there is only one style for it. Only one style for it. So I'm going to click it. When I click it, it brings me to this place. And then I will check it and be sure that I actually want it. And because I want it, I'm going to see I have regular at 400 here. I have 36 pixel will look like this. Okay, I think they have only regular 400. There is no bold, there is no medium, there is no nothing. Everything is 400 level. I mean, not 400 level. Everything is at the weight of 400, and the size is 36 and 48 like that. So if I want this one, I can say get font. When I click on get font, it's going to add it to that cart here, add it here for you, and then you can now click on get embed code. When you click on get embed code, it will open this place for you by default. So like I said, one of the ways to use it is by using this link tag. The other one is through the use of @import. So let's first of all look at link tag. How do we get it at link tag? You just copy everything you have here, or you can just click on this copy code and then it is already copied now. You have already copied it. Let's go into our HTML file and then see where we are going to be positioning it in our HTML file. Okay, in our HTML file, we have already copied some fonts that we want to be using in our work. So we are going to be pasting them inside the head section. That part where we normally put our link for HTML and CSS, we are going to be putting it right underneath it. So I'll just create a space like that and say, I'll create a comment and say Google font, Bongi tint, something like that, right? Bongi tint. So just create a comment so that anybody reading this code later will know that what is underneath it is font. So let me put another comment here, end of Google font. All right, so in between these two comments, I'm going to be pasting what I copied just now. Just copy it and paste it there. You have no other thing to do than that. When you do that, you will now come back to the place. It will not show up right now on your work. No, it won't show up right now. So you will now go to you will go back to the place. You will go back to the to Google Font and say, after you have already placed this one in the head of your HTML, this is how to use it here. This is how to use it. So they said to you, to be able to use it, just copy this one like this. Copy it. I've already copied, or you click on this one to copy. When you do that, we'll now go to our CSS file and use this class there. Watch me. Watch how I will be using it now. And we are expecting things on our web page to change. Okay. Now, how do I change it? How do I use it? I'll go to my CSS file. And then I will go to, because I want everything on my page to change, I'm going to be doing it inside a tag called body. If you check, you will see that the body tag contains everything. The body tag contains everything on the page. So if I can put fonts inside this body tag, it will affect everything I have on my page. So let me come to style here. I don't think I have body here already. Let me search. Let me search for body and see if I have it. Okay, I don't have body here. I don't have body here already. So because I don't have body there, I can create a body tag up here, although I can create it below too, it does not matter. So I have body tag, and then I will just open my curly brace, and then I want to, this one I did now, I believe it is not too difficult because we know that there is a tag called body. So if I can pick that body, I can put some styles inside it for everything inside the body to follow. So I'm going to paste what I copied just now. I'm going to paste it inside this body like this, and I will make sure that it is cleaned up. So I will remove this one, I will remove this line, and then I will remove this line, and then we are good to go now. So when I save this one now, I'll be expecting it to show up on my screen. If it does not show up, that means there's a problem somewhere, which we have to figure out what happened. Now, before I go ahead, watch out for this one. You will see that inside this font family, there is Bongi tint there, and then there is the other one at the back. Do you remember what I said about this one at the back here? What did I call it? Can you remember? Anybody? Anybody? What did I call it? It is a what? It's a backup. It's a backup. A backup. And why do we have backup font? Backup font is that if this one is not able to display on the person's browser, it can easily open this one. The backup font is always easier to open for browsers than the first one. If you check that first one, you see that it is heavy, but sometimes it may not open, and then they will need browsers will now need to fall to a backup plan. So that's why we are seeing two here. Now I'm going to be saving this one now, and then we should be going to our screen to see it there, to see whether it has worked or not. Oops! Can you see that it has worked now? So that way, I have changed all the fonts of my web page just by bringing in that font. So what happens if I don't want to use Bongi tint again? I don't want to use Bongi tint again. What will I do? Well, I'll just go back to Google Fonts like we did now. I will find another font there. I will copy the embed code and then bring it here into my HTML head. Okay, I also told you that there is another way to, apart from link that you have there, there are two ways there to be able to get your font out. The second one is the @import. How do you use @import? @import. So the one that we have used now is this link here, which gave us this, and then we just copied this one essentially, and then it is working. Now, assuming I want to use @import, this other one here, where are we going to be doing it? How are we going to use it? It said embed code in the head of your HTML. You will follow that instruction like that, and you will just do it like this. Just follow like this. But if you check very well, you will see that this is a style tag, right? It's a style tag. And if you have a style tag, it means this is a CSS file. So that means I could easily have put this thing in my CSS file and it should still work for me. So let me copy it like this. I'm going to be pasting it inside my CSS file instead of style tag like this. They want me to use inline style, and they want me to use internal style sheet for this. But I want you to know that anything you put inside two opening style tags is a CSS, and it can also work in your CSS file as long as you have linked them together. So I'll be copying this one, and then I want to go and do a practice of putting it inside the CSS file. Okay, we are seeing our CSS something now. Now, let me see my window. All right. So to start with, I'm going to take this one away. The one I have before there, this one, I'm going to take it away by just commenting it out, Control / so that it goes away. I will save it so that my project goes back to the way it was. And then I'm going to go to style.css now, and I'm going to the top part, and I'm going to be pasting what I copied just now. I'm going to be pasting it there. After I've pasted it there, I'm going to save it and hope that it will still work. And you can see that it is still working. It is still working. It's affecting everything inside the body directly. It's not affecting some things, but it's affecting a lot of things. It's affecting H2 and H1, blah, blah, blah. It's affecting this one, and then it's affecting this one. That's fine for me. Paragraph. Okay. I must have set font family for the others, which was why they are not they are not being affected, because I've already set font family for this one. So once you set font family for one, it will not affect it. That is why, but that's what is happening to all these ones here. Okay. So with that, we've come to the end of how to add fonts to your web page. Different fonts. You can check any one you want, add it to your web page. You can also use different style of bringing it in. You can add it to your style sheet like this one, and you can bring it inside your HTML, inside your index.html file by using the link tag. Those are the two ways of bringing in your Google fonts. So today, what have we talked about? We've talked about different ways of representing your style sheet. The first one has been the one we have been using, which is external style sheet, the one that you are used to, this one. The second one is what we call internal style sheet, that you can put at the base of your file just before the closing body tag. Just before the closing, you place it there, and then you begin to add your style. You begin to add your style there, just like that. Then the third one is what we call inline style sheet. Inline means as you are writing your tag, you are putting the style there, just like this one. As you are writing your tag, this is a P tag now. So you open up the opening P tag, and then you put style there. Then you begin to write your style anyhow you want it to happen. So those are the three types of style sheet that you can have for now. And then we talk about the script tag also, which I said is being used for JavaScript, and I said it's beyond the scope of this class to begin to give you an example of things that should be inside of here, inside of these tags. I don't want your head to begin to I don't want it to begin to just turn. Okay, let's leave that one. Then we talk about Google Fonts. Those are the things we talk about this evening. I hope that we have been able to learn something new. Okay, without wasting time, let me quickly go into our project and try to fix something today again. Yesterday, we were able to do this one, and then you can see that it is moving smoothly and smoothly and smoothly. Okay, let me see what part of this thing I'm doing today. The part I'm doing today is this part where we have latest product. We have latest product. We have our usual underlining here, which we already have here. Okay, so we have latest product. We have this line, and we have how many products? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That is what I'll be doing today. Those 8 products and latest products here. How do I start? Under featured products, this is featured products here. So underneath it is where we have latest product. So I'll be coming to under my featured product here. This is my featured product. I'll be coming to latest product now. So let me put a comment and say latest product. Inside this latest product, I will be creating something similar to this one. Something similar, but let me use section for this one. Section dot, so that you can create the class for me by itself. And I want the class to be latest hyphen products. I'll press tab and it will create the class for me like that automatically. I hope it's not too difficult. All right, section class is latest products, and then I have my section there. Inside the section is the one that will contain the text. It will contain the underline. It will now contain a div for all these images. So let me start by putting h3 first. I'll first of all use h3 dot so that you can give me class. So I'm going to call this one. Okay, let me not call it anything yet. Just let me write latest product here. Latest products here. Under the latest product, I need underlining. So let me go to the feature product that I did before and look at the underlining I did there, and then just copy it like that straight. I just copy the horizontal rule like this, and then I'm supposed to use class for this horizontal rule. I'll be using class for now. Let me use class and say class equal to orange rule. Yes, orange rule is the class. So I'm going to copy this horizontal rule, and then I'm going to be pasting it inside the latest product. Oh, you remember we are working on latest product now. So I'll paste it here. Why did I use class? I want to go back to CSS and copy some styles inside orange rule, so that anywhere I use orange rule, since we have plenty of it in the project, anywhere I use orange rule, that style of orange rule will apply to all of them. So I need to go and look for the style where I wrote the style that gave us this orange line now. Where I wrote the style, I'll go ahead and look for it. I use feature product that is having HR inside. So I'm going to my style and I'm looking for featured product. Featured product, I'm seeing featured product now H3. I'm seeing featured product HR. Okay. So featured product HR is where I put that style. So I will just say, don't call it featured product HR again, call it orange rule. Orange rule, orange hyphen rule. And then I will open it up and I will pick everything I have here, cut it out, paste it inside orange rule, and there should not be any problem for that one. I will delete this one. Now if I save it, this orange rule that was there since yesterday must still be there, while the new one that I'm making should also be there. So I've saved it now, and then we are seeing our latest product and our orange rule showing up at this side. I want this latest product to be at the center of the page instead of by the left of the page. What will I do? It's very easy. I'm going to select this H3. How will I select it? I can give it a class, or I just say latest product that is having H3 inside of it. So that's what I'm going to be picking. I will say latest product, that is having, is it product or products? Okay, products. Latest products that is having H3 inside of it. Okay, I want to pick it now, and I want to say I don't want it to be by the left. I want it to be at the center, and that is what we call text alignment. So I'll say text align. The value I want is center. I'll just save it, and then it should move to the center right about now. What about color? You notice that the color is changing. The color is changing because of the font that we used. The font that we used is this color by default, so it is changing. It is changing the color. Let me see if I can change the color back. It's not likely, but let me just see, because that color is entrenched inside the font. Black, color equal to black. I will save it, and then it is not working because the font is the font is entrenched with that color. So you cannot change this one because the font itself has that color. Okay, so you cannot change the color. If you don't want this color, go and choose another font that you have available on Google Fonts, as you, and follow the examples that we have that we gave today. So after having done, you will see that because I have created this horizontal rule yesterday, it was very easy to create the new one now because I have made it yesterday. So everything you have made, it becomes easier for you to do them again the next time you need them. Okay, let's move to the next part of our work. After I've gotten this part, I need eight objects like this to be on my screen, and I want them to be responsive to the width of the screen. Being responsive means if they check it on a small screen, on a phone, it should look well. If they check it on a wide screen like laptop or desktop, it should still look well again. Although a lot of the things that we are putting on this page on our project right now, I'm trying to make sure that I did not include a lot of things, so it may not be fully responsive, but this particular part that we want to do now should be responsive. Let's go, because we are going to be talking about the concept that we have actually learned before, like display of flex. You have heard that one before, right? Exactly. All right, let's come to HTML first and drop some things inside under this horizontal line. I want to drop some things there. So under horizontal line, I'm going to be dropping the images. So I will say div for the images. Inside this div, let me create the first one. Of course, I know that I've already created it yesterday, so I'll just go to I'll go to featured product. Yes, and I will just copy one of them. Yes, I first of all have a row. Okay, then I have call for. Okay, so I'm going to copy the div of row first. Let me first of all go to this place. Where is it? Oh boy, let me remove this style tag. It's causing confusion for me. Then I will remove this script tag also. It's causing confusion for me. Then I can say, okay, yeah, I want to add a div that would be just one row of a div. So div dot. When I press tab, it gives me this one. Like I did yesterday, I'm going to be naming this one also row. Row means I want it to move from left to right. That's the meaning of row. Move from left to right. And I've already set style for row yesterday. If you remember, that we said every row in our work should display as flex, and it must put a gap of 20 pixels, which was why we add this one. So I'll be setting this div as row. Now inside it, I'll be having 8 objects, 8 images. 8 images. Now let me go and pick the first one so that I can just continue to duplicate. Duplicate. Now inside it, this is the second one. Let me pick the first one. Let me pick this first one. This is the first one. Let me just open it up. You can see this is the first one. So I will copy it. It's inside. You can see that it is directly placed inside the row. So I've already copied it like that. I'll be going to where my work is now, which is latest product. Then inside this row is where I want it. So I will say first item. First item, I will paste it there. First item, I will paste it there. First item is having product 1. Alt is product 1, and this is the name of the image. If I save it now, I should see this one on my screen like this. Don't forget, we are looking for 8 of them. 8. So I will squeeze in this one, and then I copy it again. Although it's already copied anyway, that one is not necessary. Second item, I want to paste it now for second item. I've already pasted it. Don't forget also that yesterday we have already written the code for call for. If you have any question about this call for, let me know so that I can explain again. product 1. This one will be product 2. Let me save it now first so that we can see that it's having the same image. But when I change this one to 2 and I save it, it's going to switch it to the item that is having product 2 for us. After that, let me change this one to 2, the alt. Let me write the third one. The third one, third item is going to be 3 and 3. I'll squeeze it again so that it can be easier for me to see. First, we are going to 8, mind you. We are going to 8. Okay, 8 and 8 here also. 8 and 8 here also. Okay, and I said 8. This is 3, so we are going to 4 now. 4, sorry, 4 and 4. Let me save it so that we can see what we have on the screen. 4. So we have those 4 like that. So these are the 4 that we now have. So I want to have another set of, okay, let me just continue. Fifth item, and inside fifth item, I'm going to paste it and change this one and this one to 5. Then you can see that I changed the number together. Don't worry about that. Just be doing it one by one. And if you actually need it, you can ask in the comment, in the chat. I will explain how I did it. But I don't think you should worry yourself about that one for now. Sixth item. For sixth item, I'm going to paste it. I'm going to change this one and this one to 6 at a go. And then we are going to 7 now. Seventh item, paste it there, change this one and this one to 7, like that. Okay, then we go to the last one, the last guy, last man standing. Last man standing, which is the 8th, EIGHT, then TH, 8th item. Then you have then you have pasted it there, and then we have, I'm going to take back this font. I don't like the way this font is making everything look orange. So let me go back to my style and remove reference of body. I'll remove the reference to body that is making this thing to be having that. So let me just comment it out, then I will save, and then all the font will look like that. Now, what are you seeing on the screen? You are seeing that after I have put all the 8 items, they are staying beside each other. But I don't want them to stay beside each other. I want only 4 items to stay there. So how am I going to achieve that only 4 items will be staying in this place? Let me try. We're going to try some things, and then hopefully one of them will be able to give us what we want. The first thing is that this flex container, which is the one, the flex container, where is the flex container? The flex container is the one that is that is wrapping all the 8, which is this row here. For latest product, it is this row here. This row is trying to squeeze in all the objects on the row so that it can take it. But if I give it an instruction that, oh, come on, if the space will not be enough, you can move to the next line. You can move to the next line, then perhaps it will help solve the problem that we are having now. How do we let it know that it can move to the next line in a flex situation? Because we are using flex now for our row, and row is the container. Let me go back to my style.css. I already have row here defined. Row has been defined here already yesterday. Where is my row? Okay, row is here. We've already said display it as flex. You see, flex is like elastic. It will stretch, it can squeeze, it can stretch. So that's why we call it flex. So that is what is happening here. It's trying to squeeze in the object inside on that same line. So if I keep on adding it to keep on reducing their size, and keep on putting them there because I have set the display to be flexed. But now I want to add something else to this place and say, hey, look, if the space will not be enough, you can move on to the next line. So let me try that one here. If it does not work, we'll look at something else. Okay. The attribute is called flex wrap. So when you begin to type FL, it will give you this option. Just choose flex wrap here. When you press enter, it will give you the option of values that you can have for flex wrap. In this case, we want to use wrap. There's a value that's called no wrap if you don't want them to go to the next line. But this time around, I want them to go to the next line, so I'm going to be choosing wrap. And when I save it, I want to see the effect that it's having on the screen. And that is featured product. Good. And you can see what we're having now. Latest product is having this one now. It's having this one now. So it was able to put 3 there. And because this space cannot take the 4th one again, it wrapped it to the next line below. So after 3 again, this space cannot take the next one. It wraps it to the space below it also. Now there's one thing I want to do. I want 4 of them to stay on a line instead of 3 that is staying there now. How do I ensure that? So I can come here and say call 4. This call 4 here is what is responsible for each of them. So instead of using 23%, let me reduce it to 22% and save it. And then we have 4 items on the screen. Ordinarily, flex basis of 25%, you know, we have 25% in 4 places inside 25% in 4 places inside 100. 100% is the entire width of the screen from left to right. Like now, I'm showing you half of I've minimized the window to half, but it's still 100%. That is what percentage does. So if I say 25% of it, it means it will take, I'm still supposed to have 4 of them on a row. 4 of them on a row because at 25%. But remember that we have already applied gap of 20% here, of 20 pixels here to the row. So which is the gap in between each image here. So for that gap to be accounted for, you need to reduce your flex basis from 25 to something like 22 so that it will still accommodate 4 of them and it will give you the gap that you are looking for. It's a bit of calculation. For those of you that are that love mathematics, you will not have problem with what I just said. But if you are having an issue calculating it, don't worry. Speak with Thomas. He will help you. Okay. Now, you will notice that once I put my cursor on it, it is just jumping up. It's just doing exactly like that one. So I'm going to be using a different way, a different transition for this particular set of particular set. I put it on call 4, and I'm using that call 4 now. I cannot change it because I've used call 4. Okay, so let's just change the direction of entire call 4. Let's see the other way of doing the transition instead of just making it to jump up like this. Okay, if you notice, you will see that when cursor enters, it goes up. When I remove cursor, it comes down. So cursor makes it go up. You see, it goes up, it goes up. If I want it to come down instead of up, what will I do? I want it to come down. So when cursor comes in, it should come down instead of up. What will I do? I will go to that call 4. Remember, call 4 is what is wrapping each of the image and the text and the stars and the 50 here. Call 4. So inside one call 4, you have the image, you have the P, and you have the stars there, and you have the money inside just one call 4. So I want to say, when I put my mouse, my cursor over call 4, this is what you should happen, which is what I define here. So right now, I'm defining it to translate Y. Y means Y axis, that is from top to bottom, and you are setting it as -10. So if you want it to come down, you will do 10. Let me use 20 now so that we can see it very well. Let me use 20 pixels. Instead of minus, you will use positive value and then it will come down. I have saved it and I'm moving my mouse to the place now to check the effect of 20 pixel translate Y. What do we have? You can see it's coming down. It's coming down, 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 down. That is what translate Y will do. Let me do translate, instead of translate Y, let me do translate X. Translate X like this. What will it give me? If I just save this one now, instead of moving top and bottom, that is from either down or up, X will be moving from left to right. So 20 pixel will make it move to the right like this, to the right like that, to the right like that, and to the right like that. So if I want it to move to the left instead of right, I will just change this one to minus. Instead of 20 pixel, it becomes minus 20 pixel. And then when I save it, it will move to the left, to the left, and to the left. So that is translate Y, and that is what it will do. What other things can I do with transform? I can also have it increase a bit. So I can say transform for me, but what you are transforming for me is, there are different options for this transform. I want you to show it so that you can see how you can pick one. So you click on this transform and then it is going to give you this option like this. When you have this option, I want us to test what we have under scale. Scale. So what is the scale? Scale means how big do you want it to be when cursor enters into it. If you want it to be times 2 of what it is, just put 2 there. Just put 2 there and then you save it. So when you save it, I'm bringing my mouse to the place now. Watch it. Can you see now? Can you see now? Can you see? Can you see? Okay. Okay. So that is 2. If you don't want it to be, if you just want 1.5 size, one and a half of the size that it was before, 1.5 times the original size, just put 1.5 there and then you save, and then it will look like this when you over it. But generally speaking, that one was too much, so you can just use 1.2 so that it just grow a little bit like this. Aha, I think this one is fine too. So anyone you like, please use in your project. At that level, you should be fine. Okay, I think that is all I am supposed to do today in this project. Okay, let me increase the space between this latest product. This latest product is not big enough. Let me use the size for this one for it. And that is latest product H3, right? So I'm going to say font size. That is 50 pixels. Save it so that it can become this big. Okay. If I want to make this the latest product to come down a bit, to come down from these stars, I want it to come down a bit. I'm going to apply margin top to it so that margin top will push it downward, creating some margin on top of it. So I'm going to say margin top, press enter, and I give it a value of maybe 70 pixels. 70 pixels, save it. That was what we were doing yesterday, that it was not giving us exactly it. I mean, the thing was not moving so much. Okay, well, that's what we are going to have. Okay, we can manage that one like that for now. All right, with that, we have come to the end of project. So let me see. For you followers, I said I'm still behind though. Sorry about that. Well, it gets overwhelming very, very easily. As long as you don't continue to work on it every day, you will get overwhelmed and you may not be able to catch up if you don't dedicate time to it to start paying your debts. Let me see if our Slido is working. I was only able to put how many questions now? I was only able to put, is this one even there? I was able to put 5 questions. And I think that 5 question is so small is so small. So please, let's decide. Should we do the 5 questions or we do it tomorrow? Network was not friendly. In fact, today again, the network of that site is still not okay. Network of that site is not okay. Please, let's decide. If I'm able to open the 5 questions, should we do the 5 questions? Of okay, well done, Zion. Please keep it up. If I'm able to open the 5 questions, should we do the 5 questions today, or we should push it till tomorrow when we answer like 30 questions tomorrow instead of our normal 20? What do you think? It's okay. So what do we do, please? What do you think we should do? If we are stopping now, we are stopping now because I mean there's not, except if there are questions. I'm through with what I want to teach. But if we are doing the 5 questions, if majority decide that we should do the 5 questions, then we are just taking the 5 questions within the next 10 minutes or so, and then we will pause. But if we postpone, tomorrow we are going to be having about 30 questions that we are going to have set already. I'll try and set them at night. I think setting them at night pace instead of during the day when network will be so jam-packed. I'm waiting for our input. The follower is able to get our update. Is able to get the voice almost immediately I'm saying it. Do we still have anybody on do we still have people on the call? Except apart from Zion, who else is on the call? What do you want us to do? Should we go ahead and answer the 5 questions, or we answer 30 questions tomorrow and put a call? Okay, we have another. We can do it tomorrow. We can do it tomorrow. Somebody said we can do it tomorrow. Somebody said let's do it. Let me look for one more. Let me wait for one more response. One more response. One more response. So that we can wrap it up today and call it a day till tomorrow. One more response. I'm waiting. I'm looking for your message on YouTube chat. I'm unable to access my my WhatsApp. Okay, let me check my WhatsApp web because it's like somebody was trying to leave a message for me on WhatsApp. Okay. Okay. No, the message was not for me. I am waiting to see what we can say, what we are saying. We have 3 minutes to the end of to 5:30, so that we can just wrap up now, and then hopefully we will not stay more than 2 hours tomorrow. But if we stay more than 2 hours tomorrow, so be it, right? Esther, I need your vote. Or who else is there? Who else? We have Esther. We have Esther. We have Esther is the only one that is supposed to talk. I can't see the names of others. They did not drop their name. Okay. All right. So Zion, do you agree that we do it tomorrow then? Zion, do you agree that we do it tomorrow? If Zion agree that we do it tomorrow, then we are good to go. If Zion could agree for us to do it tomorrow. If Zion could agree for us to do it tomorrow, then we are good to go. I think we should do it tomorrow too. I think we should do it tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining today. I think this is a very convenient place to wrap up the whole show. Okay, Zion is agreeing for us to do it tomorrow. So let's be prepared for 30 questions tomorrow. Of course, as usual, it's going to combine everything we have learned from get-go up till tomorrow. It's going to combine everything together inside that 30 questions. So you will see questions that you have learned before, and you will still see questions that will just be taught tomorrow. Please get yourself prepared. It's going to be it's going to be hot, and it's going to be okay. Thank you so much, my boss. I know. Thank you so much. We are going to be doing it tomorrow. 30 questions. Let's be ready. So until I see you tomorrow, I leave you in the hands of God, who is able to keep you from falling. Remember that the sky is not your limit. God is. Have a wonderful night rest, everyone. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for coming today.